This is the last part of this application, and after this you'll see a full list of Pokemons here. First thing I'll be doing is I'll be making the image dynamic. For that I'll be using the backtick syntax. Now like I said, inside Babel syntax when you have to use JavaScript, you use curly brackets. Inside curly brackets I'll write the backtick syntax. I'll replace this with a variable, and that variable contain the ID from the Pokemon data that I got. So every image has an ID. Now again, this is dynamically getting rendered. Then we go back to the Pokemon grid. Let's set this value to say 15 for now. And let's see now what we'll do. Let me show you what I'm doing here exactly. I made a fetch call to this API, which is giving me these values. I have these values in my Pokemons thing. Now inside JavaScript for rendering components, a for loop might not always be the best option. Sometimes it doesn't even work. We'll be using the map function to render the component. Now we'll be removing this Pokemon card and actually be writing a mapping function here. Again, curly brackets for JavaScript. Let's take our Pokemon's value, which has the list of all the Pokemons. We'll take that, we'll map it, and for each thing, I can actually write anything here. I can write dog, horse, anything here. So for basically for every value inside that list, I want you to return this component, and then this will become, using that Pokemon, just return Pokemon into the props. Okay, so now we're seeing some good progress here. Okay, so I took that Pokemon list, I put it in a map function, and I told that map function to take every element from that Pokemon list that I have and pass it into this component as a prop, so it can render dynamically based on that. So let's see how one of this got rendered. Say for Charmander. Now Charmander value had a name and a URL. So when that value got passed to the Pokemon card as a prop, it took the name value and it rendered it here. It took row of props and it took the Pokemon's name. It took that URL, and using that URL it made the fetch call, which got it more details, which we'll be using later. And then using its ID, that was again in Pokemon data, we made the fetch call for its image. Now let's finish off these things also. Let's get this ID. Now see what I'm doing here. There are two kinds of variables here that can get confusing. There is props and there is the state. So props is something that we pass to the component, and state is something that belongs to the component. So when I'm getting the Pokemon data is part of the state that I'm managing with a hook. So for that, I won't be using props.Pokemon data. I'll just use it directly. And inside Pokemon data, we have an ID attribute. Now we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4. We're getting all the IDs. Let's set the type also. Wait, let's look at Pokemon data to see exactly where do we find this type. Okay, so this is the call we're making. It is giving us this thing. And let's look at this object. So I need to take Pokemon data. Inside that we have types. I'll take the first type, and that has name. This is the map of the structure. Okay, so I think that worked. Now let's enlarge our browser a little bit. Right now we have 15. Let's change this value. We will go to the Pokemon grid, go to our API, and instead of setting the limit to 15, I'll set it to 150. Now let's see our application. You can see some pictures are showing loading because they're still loading. That means the fetch call was going on, and now everything has fully loaded. So this is Pokédex. This is the list of all the 150 original Pokemons from the original show that was in the first generation. See, all of these are correct. Have the type. The birds look like flying types. The ID is correct. This picture says it is Mewtwo. This picture says this Gyarados. I remember that one. Okay. So everything looks correct, right? So we have built a fully functional Pokédex application which lists the original Pokemons. You can actually increase the limit and get as many Pokemon as you want from this API. And this application is complete for now. Now, what did I do here exactly? Now in front of you, you have 150 Pokemons rendered in front of you, and actually all I did was write the code for only this one. I wrote the code only for this one. I made it reusable using props, and using that, I was able to dynamically render all of this, and all of this entire page was loaded using these two lines. That's it, just two lines. That is the power of React. And the code also looks much more manageable now. I don't need to put any comments because the component names itself, they make sense. There is the code looks beautiful, it looks manageable, and everything works well and looks good. Everything is well organized. If I want to go to the code of something simple, if I want to modify the title bar code, I just have this particular file that I need to change.